What is going on, boys and girls? It's me, Ben DPB, back with a brand new episode of Ben Meets, in association, in production with, in partnership with all that palaver with Passion4FM. Now, I keep saying that, and I say it again, for all your FM needs, Passion4FM. Like I said before, the Reckless got an absolute cracking training schedule that I use because I spent years bitching about SI not doing training, and then the minute they bring it in, I don't freaking touch it. But the Reckless, thankfully, I done all the hard work for me. It's any training stuff that you want, heading over to there. But anyway, enough of all the admin. Let's get straight into the show today. We've got the brains of the outfit, the brains of WeStreamFM. We've got none other than Friday Night FM. How you doing, bruv?
Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. Thanks.
So before we get into it, where can we find you online? Your Instagram, your YouTube, your Twitch, all that sort of stuff. We haven't got it, but
Yeah, Grindr and all that.
I don't want to say anything, as long as you're happy.
Yeah, no, I'm Friday Night FM. I'll be Friday Night FM on Twitter, Instagram, Friday Night FM, or the Midfield QB is my .com is my website, and then generally just hanging around Twitch streams and the Football Manager universe, I suppose.
I mean, I've got a variety of questions. I'm going to shoot from the hip rather than one show. I want to ask is, where did your blog name come from? Because obviously you have Friday Night FM, and then you've got the Midfield QB. Where'd that come from?
So it's a bit of double bubble, really. If I start with the Midfield QB, it will lead on to explain where Friday Night FM comes from. So the Midfield QB was a Twitter handle that I had when I first started blogging a long time ago, and I was doing a little bit of IRL football, a little bit of Football Manager, and a little bit of NFL. Now, I'm a massive NFL fan, like American football, and the Midfield QB for me was like your Pirlos, your Scholes, your Carricks, that type of player. So the Midfield QB, it kind of combined two things for me. It was, the tactics, the football, and the American football. So that was like just a Twitter account that I had from a long time ago, and I used to do some blogs from various different sites. And then came back to the Football Manager scene, I suppose. I had a couple of years out, just focusing on my real life career, and it was around the time when blogs and forums are just kind of finishing, and then people were starting to go into YouTube and to Twitch, and I kind of came back, and then Friday Night FM basically come out from Friday Night Lights. So it's a famous book, a famous TV show, famous film about American football, and that's where the Friday Night Lights is, the reference there. So Friday Night FM is where that comes from.
Who's your favourite American football team? I'm
a Green Bay Packers fan.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
I know nothing about American football.
No, we done all right this year. Unfortunately, fell at the we'll call it the semi-final stage for football listeners.
So you sent you the bottle drops of the American football world. Is that what you're telling us?
Oh no. Seeing as Duke will probably listen to this, I'll say the Eagles, or even for Viking Dan, the Vikings as well.
So one of the things I want to talk about is your blogging. I mean, that's predominantly what you do. I know you obviously have your director of football saves, which you can do with her, which we're going to get into later. You've had your saves with Dave, you had the podcast with your South America save, was it? If I'm supposed to be correct?
River Plate and Boca Juniors network save with Raz.
Save as well. So,
yeah.
But you do obviously predominantly blogging now. In terms of your blogging, you've got a West Ham save and you've got a PSV Eindhoven save going at the moment. Tell us a little bit about them, what your plans are for them, how long do you think they're going to last, etc.
To be fair, I mean, saying that blogging is what I do predominantly, it's one of those things that the blogging side of it is really, I do that for fun when I want. I'm doing a lot of stuff kind of behind the scenes that takes up a lot of my time, so my blogs are kind of few and far between. Sometimes they'll read well, in my opinion, and other times they'll just read as if I've just hashed it together because I'm starting to progress so far in the save that I need to just get some words on the virtual paper. But in terms of PSV, there's a long-term save that I wanted to do for FM20, and that was my hometown of Malden in Essex, so Malden and Tiptree, and then I wanted to basically do like a twinned town save, so with a team in Holland called Quick, but I've just been waiting for the databases to come out, and it was kind of, I was hanging on, and the guy that does them on the SI forums has been a little bit delayed. There was a couple of issues with bugs in the editor, and I was kind of just, I don't know, winging my way through some really kind of boring saves that I weren't really paying attention to. And then I decided, I thought, you know what, I was talking to Oliver Jensen, we was just kind of back and forth in a couple of DMs, and he mentioned that he was thinking about doing PSV. And after he said that, and he chose another club, I was like, do you know what? I fancy a bit of PSV. You know, back in the day when Championship Manager was the game for me. PSV had some great players. You know, like the original Ronaldo. You know, so I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go there, and I'm going to kind of have like a Brazilian revolution. So that save's definitely got some legs in it. You know, I've played a couple of seasons of it already. Blogged the first season, so I've got some legs in that. And the West Ham one really came out of Herb and I had spoke about it. West Ham are doing my nuts in real life. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to start this, and I'm just going to play it as just a bit of a kind of like, you know, streamers and that would say, as an offline save, just a save that I didn't plan on blogging, just something to pass some time and, you know, take out, this is what I'd do if I was West Ham manager. And then I just started typing a few things up, and all of a sudden I felt my fingers just kind of carrying away with themselves, and I was having a little rant about West Ham and how I'd make them better. So the West Ham one, I think that would be few and far between, just because it was more about a passionate rant than it was about actually wanting to create a kind of career story mode, or whatever you want to call it, with PSV. So yeah, watch this space, and we'll see how we get on.
I really enjoyed your West Ham one, by the way. I read that one last night. I don't read a lot of blogs. I'm dyslexic, so it's a nightmare to try and read them. But reading your blog last night, which took about 4 hours, was actually really, really good, because you're a West Ham fan, you could sense the passion in the blog as you was reading through it. And again, you, as you said, had a couple of rants about what you're doing about selling Sanchez and whatnot, and it was a really good read. The PSV Eindhoven one, as you mentioned, is a little bit more detail, etc. But in terms of your West Ham save and your PSV Eindhoven save, judging by your talks on the WeStreamFM podcast, judging by your Twitter, judging by your blog, and you have a variety of different saves on the go. I mean, there's also a lot of people who play FM in a different way. You've got your Lujo, your Loki Doki to do your journeyman. You've got your Dave Azzopardi who does your Wolverhampton Wanderers save, your Curti, your Aldershot Town. How do you go about picking your saves? Because your saves are so... I know you've read books in the past to help you pick your saves, but how do you go about finding a club to manage?
To be honest with you, it's been the same for years. I suppose it's become a bit of a meme now that I tend to have quite a few saves in the year, but it's because I play a lot of Football Manager. I've said on our podcast that I'd love to be one of those people that could have a save from start to finish, but realistically, because I love watching football, and every time I watch football, like I've got Man United Burnley on now, I'll watch this. If something happens, I go, do you know what? I fancy doing a save with them, and it's pretty much every time I watch football, and you know. With some of the WeStreamFM guys, you know, we'll sit in Discord and we'll be watching like some South American, you know, Argentina. You know, it could be River Plate playing, you know, Defensor or something like that, and then all of a sudden you're, I want to do a River Plate save, or you start watching La Liga, and you know, we watch a lot of football together, like in Discord, and that sounds a little bit, you know, bromance there, but we're always watching football, and you know, if you're at home watching football, we just jump in a Discord call and we'll just be talking about the game while we're in there. And all of a sudden, like with me, when I watch football, it always makes me want to start a new save. Now, with Raz, he watches football and it doesn't make any difference because he just always wants to start a save but never can. So, you know, it's one of those things that I pick a save up, and if I can get through that first season, that's it, bang. I'm in it for probably 4 or 5 seasons, and then, you know, until the next one. But at the moment, I'm kind of running saves alongside each other, and it's quite good because I'm finishing a season, going back to another save. And it just keeps it fresh. And you go back to it and you go, oh yeah, I forgot I had that player. Like, let's crack on and do that. So, yeah, it's normally a result of something in real life. And as I say, something that it's normally close to my heart. I don't think I've ever started a random save with a random team that I don't know anything about.
How Raz plays a game is essentially exactly how I play the game. I used to wind Herb up all the time because you get pissed off that I was forever starting a new save or whatever, because I find it hard to go anything other than Luton Town, who I support, or Napoli, or Borussia Dortmund. They're my normally 3 go-to saves: Dortmund, Napoli, or Luton Town. But whenever I rarely, if ever, did YouTube or Twitch, you can't really do it other than Dave, who does Wolves every year. I can't do the same teams every. Like Raz, I just find it so hard, man. I really, really do.
Mate,
to pick a save and stick with it.
He's played 300 hours on the start screen. You know, that's, and I mean, we take the mick, you know, but honestly, the amount of times that bloke has got Football Manager loaded, and he just, I really want tonight's the night I'm going to start a save. You know, we was in Discord yesterday, probably about 2:30, and he's like, I got home from work, you know, I want to start a save. And then, like 3 hours later, he's like, I've started a save. And then I haven't spoken to him today, but I'm quite confident he would say, nah, that's gone now. And that's what he does. But he loves the game, but it takes him a while to really get kind of into a save. And he had a Montpellier save. He actually done a season. I think that's the first season he's completed in probably about 5 editions of the game since we played the network save.
Raz has become a bit of a meme, shall we say, for the WeStreamFM podcast. I mean, we don't see a lot of him on Twitter. I know he took a bit of a hiatus. I believe he's back now.
Yeah, well, he died for about 6 months, is what we like to say. And quite a lot of people in and around the streams, they think that Raz and myself, we're the same person. They just think, because we've never been seen in the same room. And you'd be surprised how many times people say that they thought we was the same person. But no, basically, I'm the southern version of Raz and he's the northern version of me.
Now, in terms of WeStreamFM, how did the whole... I mean, I know you were there, obviously, the birth, shall we say, because obviously you spent a lot of time being in the guys' streams with Teach back in the day. Rest in peace, Teach. How did the whole WeStream team come about? Who started it? What was your initial plans when you began? And, what happened?
Well, it's quite good, actually, because we can throw back to one of your Passion4FM guys. I actually was bored one night, and I just kind of loaded up on my TV. I'm going to watch Twitch, on my PlayStation, and thought, I've never looked at this. Just loaded up Twitch and thought, I'll have a look at Football Manager, see what's going on. There's about 3 people when I started kind of watching Twitch, and it was Reckonist, Clan, Viking Dan. So they were the 3 people there. But I actually spent a lot of time in the Reckonist stream when I first started watching Football Manager. And then these 2 Herberts kind of appeared. And that was Teach and Dupe. They started obviously streaming a network save. I think Dupe had previously attempted it and had kind of backed out, and he'd done a little bit of YouTube and he'd done a bit of that. But Teach and Dupe started a network save. Teach had the Fergie Way YouTube series, which was something that I'd kept my eye in with the Football Manager community, because I love the game. I've always loved the community. I just kind of stepped away from it, but always kind of kept an eye on what was going on. And his was a series that I used to watch, and obviously he didn't use face cam, and I'd never seen his face, and he wasn't what I thought he was when he first got a face cam. But it was spending at the start, and you know what it's like when you start as a Twitch streamer. You got your 3s, your 4s, your 5s viewers. It was very small, but those guys would go live. I'd jump in there, and kind of we just chatted from then, really. And then we had after the stream one night, they kind of said, "Oh, do you want to jump in Discord?" And I was like, "I don't even know what Discord is." So I downloaded Discord, jumped in a voice chat with Teach and Dupe. Was just having a little chat. Raz jumped in, so it was kind of... I'd been speaking to Raz in the Reckonist stream, and we'd kind of DM'd each other on Twitter a couple of times, just talking about tactics and stuff. And then, we all 4 of us just started having a call. And then we're just talking about the stream, and one thing led to another, and we was kind of like, oh look, why don't we, they knew Curty, they knew Dave, and obviously Nerd as well, and we just kind of come up with this idea that what if we was to kind of create this group of streamers, and the whole thing, the tagline from the start, and this is going to sound so corny, but it was stronger together. And we just kind of said, like, if we all support each other, not like for like, and all that kind of thing. It was more just about, when someone's streaming, make sure you go in there and you kind of keep the chat alive. When someone goes live, make sure you're kind of hitting a retweet or dropping like a little custom tweet, just to kind of build these people up. And you'll know as a streamer that those interactions are what keep you going as a streamer. If you've got, a few people chatting in your chat when you're streaming, it makes you want to keep streaming. And that was kind of where WeStreamFM was kind of brought up. We just kind of said, look, as a little team, as a community, we come up with WeStreamFM. I mean, it was quite catchy at the time. It was a nice little hashtag. All the accounts were available, so it kind of made sense to just kind of crack on from there. But yeah, it started with me, Teach and Dupe. Then you had obviously Dave, Curty and Matt came in after that, and the rest is history, really. We've been going for nearly 3 years.
I mean, a point that you mentioned, I thoroughly agree with, the whole like for like scenario. We've seen so many groups pop up in the past that have been around for 5 minutes, retweet each other every time they go live, and they very quickly dwindle away. Why do you think WeStream has become so prominent and lasted so long compared to so many other groups out of the collab crew that died away so very quickly?
And I mean, I say this with the most utmost respect to the collab crew. Like, I saw that as just like a bunch of mates playing games. And I don't know, it was weird with WeStreamFM because we just kind of had this, it weren't like an elitist kind of thing, but we said, right, if you're going to do it, you want to have good audio, good equipment, good lighting, your green screen spotter. Like, we kind of had these non-negotiables that we said to the guys. And obviously I didn't stream, but I kind of said, look, if you want to make something, you've got to be different. Don't have a webcam that you can hardly see anything, or your bedroom's a fucking state that, or wherever you're streaming from looks a mess. If your audio sounds like you're talking into the back of a mic and you can't really hear it, you've got your music so loud that you can't hear what people are saying. It was just all these like little non-negotiable things, and we said, look, treat it as if it was your job, but you've got to have fun. And that's kind of, by just everybody sticking to that, of having, kind of keeping it on brand, shall we say, it just allowed us to have these kind of, they weren't strict rules, but it was kind of like, for yourself, do it for yourself, because then you've got a standard. And if you've got a standard, to have that, you maintain a measure. So you can, if you're always doing it the same and everyone's doing it the same, you can kind of monitor what people are doing in terms of growth. And we tried lots of different things, click to tweets, all these different things that we was trying. And then you see, Twitch boomed with all these new streamers, and everybody was doing the same thing that we was doing, and whether it was, a stupid GIF, if it was click to tweet, and we're not saying we come up with that as the pioneers, but our tweets were very kind of organised. It was quite a well put together kind of go live tweet, and you see everybody kind of doing it, and it was just one of those things that it was good, because I thought if everyone else is doing it, we're obviously doing something right. And the number one thing with WeStreamFM was that we wanted anybody that came in to be one of our mates. And it was, this whole stronger together thing. It was like, at any point, someone can come to us and we'll help them. So if they say, look, I'm struggling with this, or I need the graphics doing, or I need some help with, a bot command or something like we could all help. And it wasn't about one person being bigger. Teach probably grew, in terms of WeStreamFM from the start, he grew rapidly. There's something about his voice that, I don't know, must give grown men a bit of a semi, you know what I mean? But he grew well, and he was entertaining. It was like captivating. His voice, something about his voice, and like, he's a miserable prick, and he won't mind me saying that. But it was captivating. You watch a Teach stream, and he's just like, he's very, you just get drawn into what he's doing, and his
knowledge of the game and tactics is great, and he goes into so much detail, which is why I still love watching his streams.
He's really good. And Dupe, from the other side of it, Dupe's come on leaps and bounds in how he plays the game now, and it's like one of those things that Dupe's just a funny guy, and there's not a day that goes by that he will say something stupid that will make me laugh. And most, I would say that's probably 1 in 10 times of him making a joke, it makes me laugh. But he's a great guy to have around. He's kind of a bit, I'll say infectious, but not that way. He's more infectious that he'll always cheer you up. But yeah, that was the whole thing. It was just about being mates and getting on with it.
Whatever happened to the Wonder Kid part? When you first started the podcast, you used to also have, and I loved that part of the show. That was like my favourite, my favourite part of the show. What happened?
So the Wonder Kid Hall of Fame, I mean, I'm going to say this, what a great idea. And it was...
no offence to you guys, it was genuinely my favourite part of the show. I loved it.
Well, how the podcast come about, and I wasn't so much involved with the podcast to start with. I was there when it was created. I was there when we named it and stuff like that, but it wasn't, I was more of like an ideas guy. I would throw a couple of bits in here and there, but obviously I wasn't one of the hosts at the time, and it was kind of like Teach, Duke, Matt, they always, come on a pod, and I mean, like 2 years later, we're still trying to get Raz to come on the pod, and it was like a similar thing. They're like, get a microphone, come on the podcast. And I was like, I've done podcasts before, so at the time, 5-star pod was because there was 5 people doing it, and that was the whole thing. And then I can't even remember who it was. Like 1 week they couldn't do it, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it, I'll jump in. And then literally from then I've carried on ever since. So I think we've done 126 episodes, something like that, plus a few Christmas episodes. I'm pretty sure I've done like about 115 episodes of it. But I used to write the Wonder Kid Hall of Fame, so it was kind of my thing. I used to go through, and that was about the only bit of preparation we ever done for the podcast at the start. I would literally write a Word document of whoever this wonder kid was. On my phone in a notes box, I've got like so many wonder kids in there that we never used, and I'd just go through and I'd write a whole piece on this wonder kid that we was going to talk about. And then we got to a point where it kind of felt, did anyone really care? Because it was a bit scripted.
I cared.
But this is the thing. Like, I was like, if I was listening to a podcast, that brings back memories for me. Oh,
it did for me, man.
I remember Freddie Adu. I remember Henri Savier. I remember David Bellion. I remember Eder Alves Balanta. I remember all these players. I really liked it. And I think at the time, because we didn't script the podcast so much, it kind of felt like it was awkward, because we would do like a lot of talking around, just asking questions, and we'd just kind of...
You had set rules. I liked it. There were set rules
Yeah.
there. Did he become a good player in real life? What did he do for you in the game?
Exactly.
I liked it.
We have talked.
Bring it back.
We have talked about bringing it back, because now, probably for the last 40 episodes, maybe more than that, I write the podcast pretty much on a Monday or Tuesday. I write the whole running order for the podcast, because we were getting at a point that we'd turn up on a Thursday at 9 o'clock. That was the time that we would record, and then we'd sit there for an hour deciding what we was going to talk about. And then sometimes someone would go, let's talk about, long throws. And someone would go, right, let's talk about long throws. How do you feel about it? And everyone would be like, this. And then that's it. There's nothing more to talk about. So now I try and come up with a topic every week. So you could listen to most of these podcasts now, and there's the same structure all the way along. Yeah. Like we do a save update, we do the team meeting, we do a quiz. And it's just like doing it that way. We the consistency of it, our listeners, we're just consistent week on week on week. Like, it's so, we've got our core audience now, and we're often in kind of top 20s and stuff of games and hobbies, which we love, and we're not doing it for money, we're not doing it for fame. We do it because we love doing it, and it's normally an hour and a half a week where we all get together and we just have a bit of a piss take whilst trying to do something a bit professional. But yeah, the Wonder Kid Hall of Fame, I would definitely bring it back. And we have, I'll give you a little exclusive here, because we often do like little bits of WeStreamFM merch, not for sale and stuff like that. We do it.
All I'm going to say is don't blue ball me right now.
Nah.
Don't tease me.
No.
Give it away.
We've Dave and myself come up with a little bit of Wonder Kid merch that we'll use on giveaways and stuff. So that, just keep your eyes peeled. That's coming.
Take my money.
No, well, I say we never do things for money. We do it for charity. We've had people offer to sponsor us. We've had people kind of, brands that want to get involved. And to date, we've kind of always said no, because it was never about the money. And we don't think we're big enough that we're going to command enough money that it's worth selling out. Podcast costs us what? If you take the equipment out that we'd have to buy and stuff like that, it probably costs us like $10 a month, if that. And the odd giveaway that we do, it doesn't cost us anything other than our time. We've all got full-time jobs, other than Matt, who pretends to work, Herb, who's a bit homeless, but so we've never really done that. So any merch that we make, it's always been like about giveaways, giving it back to the people that support us. So as I say, in Dupestream, we've got like a load of 5-star mugs to give away. I've given away like WeStreamFM notebooks and stuff like that. So it's always worth just keeping an eye out, because we've always got something that we'll give away.
Well, if those shirts ever becomes available, I'm there.
What one's that? What, the charity cup stuff?
No, the old the 5-star Wonder Kid Hall of Fame. Any 5-star Wonder Kid Hall of Fame stuff that comes out, bruv, I'm there.
Yeah, mate. I'll make sure we hook you up.
So Dave has a party. All right, I've got a couple of questions regarding the
my son.
Your alleged son. His Pentagon challenge. Do you think he would finish? He's done a season, I believe. Maybe start the second season. Do you think he's going to finish it? Kurt, you ain't quite so sure. What do you think?
Oh, Kurt's ribbing him for it, but I'd hate to say that Dave's got a reputation for finishing early, but it's the thing with Dave is Dave loves Football Manager, and I think when he's creating content, he spends more time editing than he does playing the game. He's just bought himself like a nice new laptop, because he doesn't want to be sitting in his office all the time playing FM, recording FM. So now he can sit, if you ever happen to be in a Discord call with Dave, his house is the noisiest house in the world. I mean, his family, and I feel like I know all his family, because I've heard them louder than I can hear you at the moment. And it's they know, his mum knows me. I've donated some stuff for their charities that they've done outside of Football Manager, like their family charities and stuff. So like I've always had a bit of banter with his mum, and his dad's like obviously a massive Wolves fan, and we kind of, I'll be talking to Dave and I'll be like, I'll tell your old man Wolves are shit or something like that, and he'll say, oh yeah, Joe said this, and so we're kind of. He loves, like, he's very, very close to his family, and I think now what he does, he just sits on his laptop in the living room with his family, and he'll just be clicking through playing the Pentagon. The fact that he's done a couple of seasons already is mad for Dave, so I actually think he's going to do it. It might not finish by the end of FM20, but I think he'd continue it until he finished it, because I actually think he's really enjoying it.
Do you remember that guy that was on YouTube from like FM16 or 17 up to FM19 doing a Pentagon challenge? He was an Irish bloke, and he was like playing the Pentagon challenge like 2-3 FMs in a row, mate, because he wanted to finish it, and I was like, fair play to the lad, because it's that hard. I couldn't do it. Like I said,
no. To be fair, like some of the leagues they have to play, and I couldn't give. I don't care enough about them leagues to be. I love the fact that people play like the journeyman saves, and there was non-league to legend and things like that. And a lot, they just don't interest me as a player of the game. We all love playing with the superstars and building
100%.
our world class teams and stuff like that. That's what I love about FM. It's the fantasy side of it. And I'd probably say the lowest that I go is going to be like maybe conference, even League 2, like that kind of level. Other than that, I'm not. I'm not really into starting at the bottom and working my way up, because I don't play saves that long. I'm like a 5, 6, 7 season kind of guy. So to start really low, I might not even make the Premier League by the time I'm kind of like, I'm done with this save now, I want to start a new one.
In the words of Dupe, I can only echo that. 100%. One thing I do want to ask you, the last one I promise you, is, so Dave, save and reload. I mean, have I missed something? Did this actually happen? It's mentioned every podcast.
Dave and reload. Yeah. Dave and reload. That just become a thing. There was.
I guess is it an inside joke that we don't know about, or
there's always inside jokes. Honestly, if half the things that we made inside jokes about actually came out, we wouldn't be allowed to podcast anymore. But with Dave, he had an incident a couple of years ago where in one of his Wolves saves. So there's no spoilers because it could have been 1 of 10. But I think it was something like he's playing Arsenal. He needed to win to either get European qualification or Champions League or win. I can't even remember what it was, because it was that what was happening didn't matter. It was just the fact that he had a crash and then went back and played them again and beat them and basically qualified for whatever he needs to qualify for. So Dave and reloaded. We take the mick for that reason. And he's not. I've played network saves with him. He's not. He doesn't cheat at the game. It just happened that he had a crash in, air quotes again. And we just, it's just another reason that we get to take the mick out of him. And, we always, whenever someone says about the editor, we just go, oh, ask Dave. Dave doesn't use the editor. He literally never uses it. But because, I don't know, it was because he'd done a lot of experiment stuff and that, he had the editor. And we always used to take him, oh, Dave, why's the little pencil in the corner there? Like, are you cheating again? And if he was streaming or something like that, he'd be like, no, I'm not. Look, the editor's disabled, blah, blah, blah. And he just protests too much. So, again, he showed a side of weakness and we just, we took advantage of it.
What the happened to your intro? Good to be back. You stopped doing it. What happened?
It's great to be back. Good to be back. I don't know where it even come from. And then Matt just kind of got hold of me and went, oh, yeah, you've just stolen Joe's. I'm like, it's so weird when you start
I'd buy that in a shirt.
Yeah. It's like, sometimes I don't even know. You just go around. Like, we've spoke to each other for half an hour and then you're like, Joseph. And my name's not even Joseph, but he calls me Joseph. And I just say, oh, it's great to be back. Because to be fair, it is. Because there was a time when I wasn't part of the podcast. So I think that's how it started, because I was on one week and then I ended up being on the next week. I was like, it's good to be back. And it just stuck from there, really. And it's 100% not a catchphrase that I thought I'd have. And I certainly don't use it. It just happens to always just drop out when we're doing a podcast.
That's what she said.
Exactly.
Not that I'm trying to join you boys, don't worry. But how do you go about deciding who? Because we've seen guys come and go. We've seen the Tramp or Big Herb, they never recorded recently. So how do you go about deciding who's going to come, who's going to go, etc.? How does that whole process work?
Well, at the start, it was we didn't want to kind of just take everybody on. Now, obviously, when you're doing stuff like this, you talk to people that are playing other games, people that are big in other areas. And there was a few of them that we spoke to, and they were like, "You're better off take absolutely everybody on. Literally dominate the market. That every single streamer that plays Football Manager does so under the WeStreamFM umbrella." And we was like, as much as it makes sense that you're kind of you're cornering the market there, it's not what we wanted, because we kind of wanted this quality without compromise type of attitude. So when it came to picking people, it wasn't like you had to be one of our mates to get in. We at the start we just kind of said, look, this is we're looking at, are you consistent? Is your audio good? Is your visuals good? And are you an entertaining streamer? And look, it hasn't worked out with everyone. Foxy come on board, and it didn't quite work out with Foxy. And now all of us, we're all good mates with Foxy. He's a legend, and it was just one of them things. It was wrong place, wrong time. Didn't work out. Same with Liam H. There's probably 2 or 3 of us that campaigned for Liam H to come in, and it's just a few things. It just didn't work out at the time, and we kind of parted ways. There's the obvious Twitter beef and stuff like that, but it's harmless. I hold no grudges against anybody that's been in and been out. It just at the time we was trying to make it as professional as possible, because there's a chance that 1 or 2 of them would do it full time. So if you're associated to what we class as a brand, you don't want someone else to ruin it for the others. So we was quite careful with who we selected, and sometimes it would be months between bringing a new person in. We've got obviously like Clan. He's been in for a long time, big Twitch streamer, and I would say we don't hear from him very often. Like he'll be in like our admin chat and stuff like that, and we'll be talking about it, and we'll always be supporting his streams, and always in and out, and he's in and out of everybody's streams. Just because we don't talk every day doesn't mean that we're not a team. But the core of us, like we're in our admin chat nearly every night. Whoever's available will be there, and we're always chatting. And it's there's times when it's gone a bit flat and we haven't streamed, but we're always talking about when we come back to streaming, or I'm going to write a blog about this and da 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 da, and we try and bounce off of each other. And that's why it works. Like Herb coming in was a bit of a no-brainer for me, because I think he's great. I think he's got a great character about him, and he takes the banter well.
Herb was a big part of the collab Crucial Stage. You're right, it was literally just a bunch of 4 mates who wanted to play Network Save, but also play PUBG. We were all to the game, but also play any other games, and it was just a piss take. It was never meant to be serious, and it wasn't serious. So when Herb came to us to I want to go work with the guys at WeStreamFM, we were over the moon for him. Have you had anybody that's come to you and said, look, I've had a bit of grief from my mates, or has everybody been fairly understanding about them joining WeStream? So imagine some people that don't quite like the idea of joining a bunch of guys that are trying to take over the FM community, shall we say, because you guys are a large part of the FM community in regards to viewership. If you look at if you're online streaming, the top 4 or 5 guys, bar your Loki Dokis and your Dr. Benjis, are going to be Dupe, Curti, Teach, hopefully if he ever comes back, because I do love a Teach stream, etc. So do you ever get anybody that says that I can't come back, I can't come work with you because I've had a bit of or has it all been fairly laid back?
I don't think there's anybody that we've asked that hasn't given it a go. And like I said, the guys who created CMG, that come off a bit of a bad feeling from WeStreamFM. Centre Mid Gaming, or Nick himself, he came in. We wanted to get some kind of behind the scenes stuff. We got him, Regista, and Liam H came in, and after a bit of a long conversation, it kind of felt whether and it's not their fault, but we maybe got them in thinking they were going to do something different than actually happened. And I think because a certain few of us, we've got this work ethic that this is. We don't get paid for this. This is not our job, but this is a hobby. WeStreamFM become a hobby and something that we was passionate about. And when you see other people not doing what you're doing, you know how it feels in real life if you feel like you're putting the effort in and nothing's happening. And I would say at the time we was probably a little bit too over optimistic with what we're doing, and it got a bit sour. And it was like one night we just kind of went, right, XYZ, not in WeStreamFM anymore, and it got a bit toxic and a bit kids in a playground. But I don't think there's anybody in our group or in their group that hasn't still supported each other since. It's kind of water under the bridge. They're doing their thing, we do our thing, and we can all talk to each other. And it's not like Rangers v Celtic out in the Twitter playground. We're all, as far as I believe, it's all good. I know some of the guys they've met them at different Twitch events and in Berlin and stuff like that. So they've all crossed paths now, and as far as I'm aware, there's no bad blood. And if there is, I don't know about it. So respect to them for not airing their dirty laundry.
It appears that you do a lot of work behind the scenes, a lot of whether be on the pod, as I'm on the chats, helping Dupe with his Moneyball trailer, or even, for example, helping Dupe out with his 48-hour stream with the hashtag United stuff, which is sort of other bits and pieces that you're doing. Is it fair to say about you that WeStreamFM would essentially be...
It's fair to say, yeah. But no, not how I see it. I mean, I started out in the FM community back on forums, helping people with some kind of unknown forums. There was FM Underground, Fever Pitch, there was Lost Wonder Kids. There's a few different forums that I was involved in. A couple of podcasts that we done on Lost Wonder Kids, and FM View had podcasts that I've been on. So there's a few. There's a lot of old school people that I've spoke to for a long time, and I've always just wanted to help people. I like the community, and if I can help someone, as long as they want my help. I don't ever push anything on anybody, but I will help anybody and everybody if they ask for it. I might be busy sometimes and I can't help straight away, but I will always do my best to kind of help anybody that asks for it. And with the whole WeStreamFM thing, it was, I was literally sitting in my man cave watching Twitch streams, and these guys just started to become my online friends, as I'm doing air quotes here. And I was talking to them most nights that they were streaming, so it just kind of become one of them things that they wanted to push. They wanted to grow themselves as channels, and like every blogger, YouTuber, streamer, whatever it is, everybody wants to grow their channels, their reputation, and I just wanted to help. So I've got a good marketing background from the job that I do, and I just like to help different people, and I feel like it's good to be part of something as well. So it doesn't matter if it's Dupe, doesn't matter if it was Teach, Curty, Dave, all of them. I help them all out equally. But I wouldn't say without me there would be no WeStreamFM. But I kind of say without them there'd be no WeStreamFM. So it all works kind of. I don't know. It's just harmonious, really. I know my role and I do my bit, and I think there's certain times when I take the dad role, but then other than Curty, I'm pretty sure I'm the oldest. So sometimes, actually Teach was older than me as well, but I think sometimes it just takes, someone just to kind of go, look, come on, we need to fucking up our game here. We're better than this. We can do this. And, I don't mind doing that. The job that I do, I have to be a bit of a dictator sometimes. Dictator, not dictator. I will just point that out. But it's one of those things that, like Dupe with his Moneyball, we kind of, that whole save come from Cleon, rest in peace. He tweeted saying,
I do miss Cleon. I do miss Cleon.
He everyone misses Cleon, and if you know, you know. But he tweeted saying, I wish someone could do a proper Moneyball. It can be done. People just can't be asked. And literally, me and Dupe said exactly the same thing. I reckon I could have a go at that. And I'm thinking to myself, Dupe can have a go at Moneyball. You're having a laugh. But I shared with him, it was on the podcast. I think we talked about it on the podcast. But pretty much I said to him, look, this is what I've got written down because this is how I think a Moneyball save would go. And he looked at it, he was like, you'd be so much better at this. I'm like, I wouldn't. I'd just do it my own way. And then we was talking about it, and he was like, what do you think about doing this? And then Dupe's got this wonderful way of being able to get football clubs involved in things. I've no idea. I mean, I'm presuming that he just sucks good because it's one of those that I don't know how he does it, but he gets in there, and he just kind of said to me, he goes, we can go to Swindon Town, and he's like, they've given me access to the stadium, and I was like, look, come on, if we're going to do this, let's try and do it the best we can do. I'm no film student, he's no actor, but we just kind of had this idea of like take the drones down, take the cameras down, just do a few little bits here and there and mash it all together and see what comes of it. And the trailer was just funny, it was really good to watch. And I thought Dupe done a really good job with it, getting some of the characters from the community involved with some of the Moneyball quotes and things like that. And because when you do things like that, it actually engages you into the save. And I think if we hadn't have done that, that Moneyball save would not be happening, because he's already kind of got cold feet going, I don't know if I can do this. But because he spent all that time doing that, I drove down to Swindon to help him out. I think he feels like, actually, I need to give this a go, because we put a lot of work in it. If you've done the preparation, all we've got to do now is play Football Manager. So, yeah, I can't even remember what the question was, but yes, it's one of those that, I love it. It's my hobby, so I've got, I don't care what I have to do. If I can do it, I'll do it. And like as you say, with Dupe's 48-hour stream, which I'm presuming would have happened by the time this podcast has come out, but again, he said it on our podcast, and he's probably said it in his stream a number of times. His second child was born prematurely, and the charity Bliss, helped them out a lot. So he wanted to run a marathon this year. After he'd done all his, get fit with Dupe for his skydive, he then put it all back on again, and he's like, right, now I want to do a marathon, and he's raising money for Bliss charity. And like, you kind of like, look, this guy, for his faults, he does a lot for charity. I think the last one, I can't remember, I think it was Beat Charity, which was the anorexia charity, and that was something that was close to his family. And now he's doing the Bliss one, which is close to his own family. And I'm like,
did he do mental health one as well before?
I can't remember off the top of my head. He probably did. I know Proudy definitely did. And I'm just like, how can I not get involved and help him? Because to say he's going to do 48 hours is just ridiculous. Like,
do you think he could do it? I know it's already happened, but do you think he could honestly do a 48-hour stream?
I know he can 100% do it. Will he do it is a different thing. Now, because after his last 24-hour stream, he was up for pretty much another like 14 hours after it. He didn't go to sleep. He was like wide awake, and we pretty much sat in Discord playing FM, like watching the football that day. So I think he can do it. And the difference is, when he done the 24 hours, he was on his own, and you're sitting there just looking at a computer screen reading your chat. Whereas like this time we said, well, if you're going to do 48 hours, right, on the Friday, I was planning to be there all day Friday and majority of the day on Saturday with him. I'd already said, look, if I'm coming down, I'll stay in a hotel on the Friday night, because I will need to get some sleep, because I'm going to have to drive home, and it's dangerous to do that. So that was my plan. And then some family stuff's coming up. I've got a funeral now on Friday at lunchtime, so literally straight after the funeral I'm going to drive down there. So I'm hoping kind of late afternoon I'm going to jump on stream with him. I'll be on stream with him obviously through Friday night, go and get my head down in a hotel local to him. Next morning jump in for breakfast with Dupe, and then I think Curtie's going to turn up in the morning, and then Dave's turning up later that evening. So there's a few of us going to
actually to the house.
Yeah, to his house. So we'll all be on stream.
That'd be awesome.
And that's the commitment that we've kind of got to each other, that we're going to help our mate out, and that's the thing. Like, we are mates first and foremost now. It's not just these geezers on the internet that stream. We've become friends. I'm pretty sure most of us actually would say that we talk to each other more than we talk to our real life friends, because
all your wives.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I kind of talk through Discord at Dupe's wife, and Curtie's missus takes the piss out of us, and my missus, it started off that she always listened to the pod on a Wednesday when she was going to pick her mum up. She'd always listen to the pod, and it was like she kind of talks about them as if she's met them. I mean, she's never met them, but she knows so much about them, and they know so much about her, and we know each other. So we're quite close, even though we're online friends. And I don't care talking about it, because I know some people go, well, they're not real friends. Mate, these guys are my real friends, because I will drive to Swindon to go and try and keep him awake for 48 hours.
Of course. I mean, I 100% I agree with regards to online friends. I mean, I'm not going to name names, but I've got guys in the community that I've never met in person, but I consider them genuine close friends, because we talk. To be fair, the guys I'm on about, we talk mostly. We don't talk FM. We mostly talk about our personal lives. I've met them through doing these podcasts. Yeah. You know what I mean? But 100% I agree. One thing I want to talk about is Dupe his Moneyball sale. I'm a little bit disappointed, not in him, because I heard the podcast this morning. You can hear his voice. He sounds a little bit dejected about it.
That's out of the way now. That's out of the way. That was.
Oh, is it?
It was so weird. He started the podcast and he was like, "I'm gonna write down."
I haven't finished it. I haven't finished the podcast.
Yeah,
so
no.
Maybe I missed that.
That podcast. He's literally so down about Moneyball, and then we recorded that on. I think did we do that on Thursday? I think we done it Thursday night, and then he streamed it on the Friday, and he was like, "Bang, back into it." And then since then, he's kind of been saying on stream, "Look, I was really down on the podcast about it, but I'm back in it now. You know, I'm focused. Good, I want to do it." And that's you know what it's like as a creator. Sometimes you have your peaks and troughs, don't you? Have I made a mistake? I really love this save. I really don't like this save. But he's totally changed his mindset on it now, and that's why you'll see Moneyball Friday morning. Obviously, you know that's just gone. He'll be streaming that, and then he's got his lead save that he's loving. I think he's got a Man United save on the go at the moment. So there could be anything that you'll see kind of float around on his stream. But no, he's absolutely fine.
His dirty lead save is genuinely really, really good to watch. I mean, I a lot of time in stream, I don't chat, I just look. I have it on the background, I know why I'm playing FM myself. Yep. So I don't really talk a lot. But his dirty lead save on YouTube and now on Twitch. I watched his Twitch save the other day and it's really, really good. But the Moneyball save, the idea sounded fantastic, apart from attribute masking or hidden altogether. That sounds so intense to me. No wonder the poor bloke was getting a bit like, what are doing? Because it just sounds so hard. That's what she said. Oh, yeah. But it sounds so hard to do, to not have any attributes whatsoever. I mean, fair play, Dad, because I don't know if in fact, I know I couldn't do that. I
love an attribute, so you wouldn't see me doing that. But the people that have done it have kind of said, look, it's really hard. You have to pay so much attention. So I think there's definitely room for it. I personally, with Moneyball, I don't see the point in playing without attributes, because if you're playing it about statistics, it doesn't matter if you can see their attributes, because 100%. If you sign a player because their attributes look good, then you're just kind of falsifying what the whole save's about. So it seems a bit redundant, but he wanted to go for it, so we're behind him.
I'm looking forward to seeing it then, especially the 40-hour stream on Friday. I know it's already happened. I know it starts today is Wednesday, so it starts off. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'll definitely be popping in for a little bit. Might have done a couple of quid if the wife lets me, but I'll have to ask her first. but in terms of the idea for the save, or the idea for the 40-hour stream, was that something that he came up with, or did you decide it together as a team? Who came up with the idea of the 40-hour stream?
What you find with Dope is he comes up with an idea, and then about 10 minutes later, it's a thing and it's happening. So he pretty much went, I've got to raise all this money for charity for this marathon place. Da 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 da. Everyone does 24-hour streams, don't they? I'm going to do 48-hour. And we're just kind of going, you're going to die, mate. What are you doing? And he's like, well, everyone does 24. It's not anything good now. It's not special. It's been done. And I'm like, yeah, but you do a 24-hour stream and then you go, do you know what? I've got to do all that again. And you think, oh, my God, you're crazy. But that's what he's like. He's so determined. I mean, you see when everyone was taking a piss out of him when he's posting his inspirational quotes when he was going through his fitness journey. But that's what he's like. He gets an idea, he can think of nothing else, and he'll just be non-stop until he's kind of completed his goal. So if he says he's going to do 48 hours, he'll do 48 hours.
No disrespect to the bloke. He's seen as a joke in the community. I don't mean joking about, I mean as in he's a funny bloke. Yeah. Do you think he's misunderstood? As in, because he clearly, from what you're telling me, is a lot more than just being a joker, a funny guy. Yeah. He clearly has a bit of brains about him and knows what he's doing. Do you think he's misunderstood?
Definitely misunderstood, because you think he's a funny guy.
Touche.
To be fair, he's the thing is he's got this like showmanship about him, and it's weird with Duke, because sometimes he will be. He's the showman, but there is a real side to him as well. And I do think there's a lot of people that don't realise how much he helps other streamers and people like that behind the scenes. And it's not something you're going to see on Twitter. You're not going to see it on Twitch. It's like, they'll jump in DMs with him. And I know people that he's helped. And I've never seen it mentioned anywhere. And that's the kind of person that Dupe is. Like, he is actually a genuinely down-to-earth, nice person, but comes across as a bit of a dickhead. But that's just his character.
Yeah, I think I'm across a dickhead to me. In
a joking way.
I like people a lot. One of my favourite Twitch clips is a time when he's streaming and then he jumps up underneath the stairs and smashes his head on the fucking roof underneath the stairs. Do you know what I mean?
Mate,
so
that
I
setup,
love watching Dupe.
That setup that he had then. I mean, that's one of my favourite clips as well. And again, it's these. It's the thing. You obviously you had Ben on the last podcast.
Yeah.
And he's talking about Andy Thanos and he's talking about all these players, Danny Graham and people like that they're attached to him. And Dupe's had that. Like Victor Osimhen was why he ended up smashing his head there. He'd been trying to get him, and he finally signs him, gets a work permit, and he literally jumps up. And that's not fake. He's that genuine kind of person that he just gets so emotional about Football Manager. He jumped up, smacked his head. I've clipped it, sent it to Victor Osimhen, and like Victor Osimhen's come back, sorry bro, sorry you've hurt your head. And then all of a sudden the love affair for Victor Osimhen becomes a thing. I got him a Wolfsburg shirt, Victor Osimhen, and then we've done like stuff like that. And then he got the Eddie Nketiah thing, and that become a thing. Eddie Nketiah never tweets people back, so yeah, one day we'll get it. But again, like he got the Forest Green shirt with Eddie Nketiah on the back, and in fear of this turning into what my feelings about Dupe are, he's one of those. He gets so engrossed into saves that you can't help. But once you're in it, you'll love it.
I mean, speaking of the WeStream guys, they've got a variety of different personalities. I love Dave and Curtie always going back to Aldershot and Wolves. It happens every FM. Dave does about 4 Wolves saves. Curtie thinks get him going back to Aldershot. And the reason why I like it because exactly how I play the game. I mean, I'm playing a Luton Town save before we did the interview. I always do a Luton Town save. I always do a Napoli save. I always do a Borussia Dortmund save. They're the 3 saves I always do. I love the fact that seeing these 2 guys do the exact same thing. I also love seeing Matt, who never ever streams. And you guys dig him out every fucking podcast.
Bless him.
So I'm waiting for him to break one day. Cause I reckon because it sounds like every time he does it, sometimes I think, is he going to break right now? Is he going to just snap at these guys and say, look, off? It sounds like I feel like one day he's going to snap at you boys for it.
Mate, the reason he doesn't do that is because he's never about. No, he's because, to be honest with you, like again, it's this kind of collectiveness that we have that we can all call each other names. We can call each other out. If you're giving it, you got to take it, and we all do. Everyone gets rinsed. And with Matt, we take the piss out of him not streaming or whatever it is. He's not been on the pod for a few weeks. Bless him, he's not been well, and when he comes back, he's going to get abused, and he knows he'll get abused, and it's just our banter. Like it's nothing serious. You say when you're talking about the saves, Curtie, I think he's on his 3rd or 4th version of Curtie calls the shots. So he's wrung the neck out of that one. And with Dave, I think Dave, I'm going to say Dave before 6 months ago was a bit of a beg. He loved the limelight. If someone saw him at Wolves and they saw him, oh, you're Dave as a party YouTuber, he loved it. He's like WeStreamFM's Mr. Chocolado. He would eat himself if he could. But
it's the hair. It's the hair.
But Dave's like my little bro, and I'll do anything for him. He always wants to try these different saves, different clubs, and then if it doesn't quite go how he wants to, the default thing is go to Wolves because again, everybody that comes in like stream chats and stuff, and I'm struggling to find a save. The number one thing, go with the team you love, because if you can't get into a save with the team that you love, then Football Manager, you need to leave it alone for a little while. So I think when he goes back to Wolves, he tries to do it a little bit different, but his Wolves saves are always good because he loves the club, and you can sense it when he's doing the video.
We now come to my favourite part of the show. It's the Spitfire 11 question. This will either make or break our potential friendship, romance, love relationship, whatever we would call it, Joe. So no pressure, mate. Coke or Pepsi?
And on that, I'm guessing you said Coke or Pepsi because Discord cut out. So I've literally got a can of Pepsi Max in my hand, so I'm going to say Pepsi.
Who do you support? We know already, but who do you support?
West Ham United.
FIFA or Pro Evo?
Depends what mode.
Let's go classic mode. What's your favourite FIFA? If you go for your all-time favourite FIFA and your all-time
favourite
Pro Evo.
Clubs with the boys is brilliant, so I'd have to say FIFA. But if what Ben said on your this podcast last week, if Pro Evo, if Pez went to doing career mode and clubs, they would have it off because there's so many
100%.
people that would love that. And we've played a bit of Pez and it's class. But I would say I've played more FIFA than I have Pez, so I will say FIFA.
What's your favourite film?
Oh, let's go for Man on Fire.
Great shout. Favourite TV show?
Oh dear, blimey. Sopranos.
Great shout again. PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Wow. Attribute masking, on or off?
I never know which round it is, but I have it where you have to scout players, so whatever way that is.
I can't do that way. I always have it. I think it's off. I think you call it off when you can see their attributes.
Yeah, well, basically, if you've got to scout people to see their attributes, and to be honest, I don't give a fuck what people do, because play it how you want to play it. So if people want to get triggered
Boom!
by that,
Thank you very much.
do what you like,
I
but as I say, I play it where you have to scout it, just because I spend so much time getting a backroom staff. I think I might as well use them. I might as well just get rid of them all.
Well, you hear that cliche, don't you? You pay for the game. Hopefully, you pay for the game.
Yeah, exactly.
You should pay the game, however the f you like.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
and I've said this all the way along. Oh, my only with FM, and I know we're going for a little tangent here.
No,
we've said it on the pod so many times that you play the game how you want to play the game, right? The only thing that I would ever advise against is don't flaunt glory if you've done it by save and reloading, by using the editor, stuff like that. That's the only time that you'll trigger people on the internet, is if you're clearly not playing the game as it is out the box, barring things like graphics and stuff like that. It just tends not to be. Don't kind of say, oh yeah, look, I've done a Pentagon challenge in 10 seasons, when you're supposed to start with no reputation and you've won all 5 Champions Leagues. It's impossible. Like, it's not going to happen. don't go baiting people out with it, because you'll get no respect from anybody. But other than that, play the game how you like.
2D or 3D?
Oh, I'm going to trigger you here, because I play in 3D.
Oh, you.
Why not? They
fine.
spend so much money doing it. I've got a decent gaming PC. Why not have it in 3D? And yes, I don't mind watching people run off the pitch and leaving the ball for an attacker.
Who's your favourite content creator? Dupe aside.
Dupe's not even my favourite in WeStreamFM. Do you know what? I said to myself for FM20, I wanted to consume more FM20 content on YouTube, because it was something that I didn't really do a lot of. And he is in WeStreamFM, so I'm going to give him a shout out. He's Proudy, because he's attempting to not get sacked, say, with Huddersfield, was, in my opinion, the best YouTube series there was out there. If you went outside of WeStreamFM, at the moment I'm watching Golden FM, and he's West Ham safe. So
yeah,
he's doing absolutely brilliantly. I'm doing absolutely shite, so I'm just going to copy what he does. But,
so regen or new gen?
Come on, it's new gen. Although I'm with the old school.
New gen.
It's new gen. That's what it is. And
oh, Joe, that's it. It's happened now.
It's fine, but that is what they are technically. So that's the only reason I do it. I'm my job. I'm in it's about being correct with what you do, and because it's a lot of technical work. Calling something a word that it isn't doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't kind of click for me. But I understand why people call them regens. Because that's what they were, and it sounds better. Regen sounds cooler than new gen, but for what it actually is, the function, it's a new gen, and I'll say that all day long.
Club versus coach. So West Ham winning the World Cup again, or West Ham winning the Premiership?
Oh, England winning the World Cup. England is England, isn't it? I'm a realist. We've won it once. We don't want to be greedy and win the World Cup again, do we? So, but no. Honestly, England. Do you know what? And this will sound again a little bit corny, but I'd love England to win a World Cup for what it would do for this country.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why, because you see what the World Cup was like when they were progressing through. The whole country was together. There's a real buzz when England do it. If West Ham were going to win the Premier League, all you do is get all the market traders, having a laugh and getting pissed up. Whereas at least if it's the World Cup, it'll be everybody will love it.
I've got a couple of questions for you, just stuff that's popped in my head. I mean, in regards to content creator, I'm guessing you guys have your ears, your eyes, and your nose is fairly close to the ground to up and coming content creators, or am I wrong?
Yeah, to be fair, we tend to always keep our eyes out, and one of the guys that we got in recently, Sam, who's Longhurst Live. Now, do you know what? We didn't even realise he contacted Curtie like a couple of months before we approached him. and it just, oh, what do you have to, and you get it quite a lot, oh, what do you have to do to be in WeStreamFM? And it kind of feels like you've absolutely done nothing to try and sell yourself to us, and we're just kind of gone, oh, we're not actually looking, but if we see you about, we'll drop in and say hi. And to be fair, like, that was it. And then it just happened that Dupe raided him one day, and Dupe and I were just sitting in the stream. We're like, this guy's good. He's really easy to watch. He's a good laugh. He's a West Ham fan, so obviously gets a few extra bonus points. But we're always looking at someone. I mean, Dupe at the moment always tries to raid, someone that's up and coming. We've got lots of people that have been in our Discord. We tend to be looking at streamers because that's what it was based on. And we always try and give people a leg up. And most people that stream, not all of them, but most people that stream have probably been in our Discord as WeStreamFM. They'll probably use the hashtag WeStreamFM. So obviously I see that. I do probably 99% of all the social stuff for WeStreamFM. So if you use the hashtag and you're a streamer, I'll see it, and the likelihood is I'll pop in and have a look what you like.
There you go, boys and girls.
And there's no guarantees, but I'll always pop in. And then if I'm in a stream, I tend to always say hi, because again, it's the boost for the streamer. If you've got low numbers, just someone saying hi makes you feel like you've accomplished something. So if you ever drop in and say,
people perk up massively. I mean, when I jump into a stream, I'm the biggest lurker you'll ever find in the stream. I just do it all the time. Exactly. But when you see people interact, you see them perk up straight away. So I should do it more. I should.
The problem is, and again, not being a streamer myself, like, I can't tell you it from experience, but what I can tell you is I've watched a lot of Twitch, and because of the job that I do, I'm always looking at new opportunities and new things like that. So I kind of have a knack for looking for things. And all I'd say, if you are a new streamer, don't look at the numbers you've got in the chat. Act like you've got about 1,000 people in there. Just be talking, because what will happen is, how many times have you seen it where someone raids someone that's got one viewer? They're either not sitting in a chair, or they don't even realise what's going on.
Or they're not paying attention. They're not talking. They're not saying a word.
and Herb won't mind me saying this. Herb's still fairly low numbers, but he's been a bit inconsistent on Twitch. And I've had we had a chat, and we was talking about his YouTube, and it needs to be more consistent on YouTube, and that will flow over into Twitch, which it has done. But he still, he normally starts. It takes him a little bit of time before the numbers start coming in. But one thing he does, he might have 2 people in his stream, and he's talking the whole time, like he's got 1,000 people watching him. And that is probably my first tip for anybody, is when you are streaming, just keep talking, because you're an entertainer. Just clicking through Football Manager, people don't really want to sit there and see that you're clicking the same buttons they click. They want to watch the viewer, and this is why you'll see a lot of the streamers kind of where, like, their face cams and stuff are quite big now.
Yeah.
Where they started off really tiny in the corner, like, get out of the way, we don't want to cover up any of the game. People come in your stream to watch you as a streamer, so entertain them. If that's what you want to do, if you want to grow an audience, entertain them. And it might be someone like Busternet. He's a legend of Football Manager. And you'll go in there, and he's not flamboyant, and he's a funny guy, but people go in there because they want to know how he makes Football Manager work. And that guy is like, I could watch him all day long, talk about tactics and talk about how the match engine works. He's entertaining. That's what I want to see. But they don't stop talking. So I've just gone off on a massive tangent there. But my kind of my top tip number one. Top tip number one: always talk and try to be as entertaining as you can. Like they say in it. Just, I can't even remember what the saying is, but it's like no one's watching. Just do it and crack on and
play like no one's watching.
Exactly.
Exactly. What am I saying? I mean, speaking of guys to watch him, I'm going to say right now, it's a guy that I started watching about a week ago, Jim GFM on YouTube. He's got an athletic chemistry going right now. He's got 500 subscribers.
Do you think he looks like Paul Merson?
A good shout. I tell you who I do think he looks like. The old, who's that bloke? Is it Fenners that used to be on Soccer?
Yeah, Fenners, a little bit.
It's a bit like Fenners, but he's really good. He's really, really good.
His stuff is class. Really, really good. The Italian save he done last year, like, just when I think he's a graphics designer, and I'm saying that like I know, and I don't. I'm pretty sure at some point in his streamer on Twitter he said he'd done something like that. But I know the aesthetics of his YouTube videos are beautiful. The Italian save it just made me think of Channel 4 on a Saturday, Sunday morning, just watching that Italian football. That's how it started. And now he's at Let's Go Save. He's the same, and he's got he's got a unique way about him as well. So he's someone that I really enjoy watching. I know some of the guys in WeStreamFM, we love watching him as well, and we've bigged him up on the pod a few times.
I started watching because Curty mentioned him in a tweet. Curty put a tweet again, I'm loving this guy's content. I thought, oh,
Curty fancies him.
So I thought I'd check him out, and I was like, yeah, actually, he's pretty good. So I came across him because of Curty. I'm not going to try and say that I found this hidden gem. I didn't. Curty had him, Curty may have had him, but Curty had him, and after Curty recommended him, I've been a big fan. He's really, really good. I've got the last chapter downloaded on my phone to watch at work. I was
Well, that's it.
working, so.
But look how one person writing a unique tweet recommending someone has now got another person watching them.
Of course.
You know, I've always been a thing like I'll always throw a retweet on different things, and just retweet. But what I try to do is like I'll quote tweet something and just put like, oh, fantastic video, absolutely loved this bit of it, and something like, you'd be surprised how many people, one, the person who's created the content will like it because they're like, oh, look at that, someone's actually taken the time to like write a little review before they've just retweeted it, and you never know who else is then going to start watching it. 100%. So I think it's just we always take the mick because obviously like with the Peter Crouch podcast, they pass the pod. We always try and do this with other people. It's like, actually, if you like something, tell other people you like it. It doesn't, you're not hurting anybody by just saying, you know what, I really like this. And that's how people get found. Word of mouth is like the biggest advert you can have.
But mate, honestly, thank you so much for coming on. I said I was going to keep you on for a little
pleasure.
while. I've kept you on twice as long as I wanted to, but
That's all right.
and there's still so much I wanted to ask you. But it's been emotional.
I can always come back another time.
I'll hold you to that.
That's
But honestly, mate, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
No, you're welcome.
But without any further ado, I'm going to bid you all adieu. It's been emotional. Again, for all your FM needs, head over to Passion4FM. Head over to WeStreamFM for all your FM needs. Make sure you follow all the guys on YouTube, Grindr, all the other stuff. To
Bumble, Tinder.
Bumble? I missed that one.
It's proudly special, that one.
Make sure you follow the guys all at WeStreamFM. Honestly, forget Big Herb the Nerd, he's a melt. But the rest of the guys, make sure you give them a follow. Hopefully we do see Teach come back at some point in the near future. I do miss Teach, so rip Teach.
He's a racing driver now.
I've seen it. I still follow him. I can't watch iRacing.com that he does. That's not for me, I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm hoping we do see him back in the FM scene soon. But anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to bid you all adieu. It's been emotional. See you later.
Goodbye.